Hi, this is Vicki.
This is Lainey.
And we're with
My Paper
Connection. We're having a little bit of Kiki and granddaughter time, and we're going to actually craft for you today. And this is what we're going to make. We're using the Country Club Stamp Set. And we're going to make a wonderful Father's Day card. So without further ado, let's get started. As we mentioned, we're going to be using the Clubhouse Stamp Set. And look at all these wonderful different images. You've got a golf ball with a T, and you've got a putter, and the flag, "You're the Greatest Guy" by Par, which is really punny. And that's the one we're going to use today, along with our, you got that, punny?
Yeah, okay.
And then we're going to be using our golfer right here. It's really cool. And the paper is really cool paper as well. And they even have papers that have like color, or not colored, but gray images that you can color in of female golfers and the fairway and things like that. And all of these papers actually have plaid on the other side. We're going to use this side with the golf balls and the tees today. And so we're going to go ahead and get started here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare, and you can see that we're using the stitched nested labels, and we're going to be using Night of Navy cardstock. And so to save paper, we're going to go ahead and cut out the stitched nested label out of it, because we're going to put this right on top of it and you'll never know. And then we're also going to emboss that. So you'll see how we're going to use our paper and get the most out of it. So, okay, Lainey, we brought in our Big Shot, and we're placing this in place, and I'm going to have you just go ahead and crank that through. The next thing we're going to do is to emboss this. Let's do this. We'll put it this way and use this as your guide. There's a little black line here. Use that as your guide so that it's nice and straight, but we're going to have our diamonds going in this direction. So the important thing when you're doing an embossing folder like this is to turn it this way so that the folded part goes in first so that you don't break the spine of it. Now we're just going to add our little plate in there. I'm going to go ahead and run my stitched nested label through the embossing folder as well. And the reason why I didn't do it earlier before cutting it out is when you run it through the embossing folder and then you cut it out with your stitched nested label, it flattens out the grooves. And I want a piece of that to be able to punch out for my sentiment. So I'm just going to run this through really quickly. There you go, Lainey. The next thing we're going to do is to ink up our golfer. And Lainey, you know how when it's that large of a stamp, you like to put it on the table and then ink it with the ink pad rather than, it just seems like you get a much better coverage when you do that. You just tap it all over. Yep, let's do a little bit on this side. There we go. And just do it in the center of this because we're going to cut it out. Perfect.
I'm usually not good at that.
You did great at it. Okay, so while we were off camera, we went ahead and we cut this out using the next smallest from the very largest. This is the stitched nested label. And we went ahead and stamped "You're the Greatest" by Par. So Lainey, go ahead and punch that out.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm, that's great. There you go. And then go ahead and punch using the tailored tag punch right out of the center of that.
Okay.
Perfect.
Kind of crooked, but
it won't matter. Nobody will see it. Okay, so we've got all of our parts and pieces here. And so Lainey, if you will, just go ahead and put glue around the edges. And the reason why she's going to do that is that you don't want to put glue on the centerpiece because then you're going to end up getting glue all over your fingers. I love crafting with my sweet Lainey bug. She's so fun. And she loves to do it too. Now, if you'll just watch your corners and make sure that your corners have the same amount, then it'll end up being perfect. Whoops. Opposing corners, as long as you cut the paper right. Okay, that works. All right, now before we go any further, we're going to take our twine, our baker's twine, and this is from the Country Club collection. The collection, the paper, and actually the stamp set is going to retire, which makes me kind of sad, but it's okay. Well, they have so many really cool things that they're coming up with. And what I did with this was I crisscrossed it like this and went across like that. I'll let you do the rest of it. So let me put a glue dot under it to hold it in place. And you may even be able to do the same thing just by using the same glue dot like this. Just add it right in there. Take it around to the other side. Press it into that glue dot and then trim it off. All right, so I'll let you do the next one. Here you go. So
Okay.
We'll put our baker's twine together.
Glue dot.
We'll press it down on the glue dot. Whoops. Lift up. And I would say about like that.
Okay.
So you do it.
Like right there.
Mm-hmm. So bring it around the front. Cross it.
Okay.
Grab a glue dot. Here, I'll grab the glue dot for you and you can put it down. Let's lift it up. There we go. There. That works. And then you just kind of finagle it around to where it is crisscrossed the way it should be. So now go ahead and glue this on to this piece.
Is that good?
Looks great. Now we're just going to put dimensionals on the back of it.
Should I do it right there?
Mm-hmm. Lainey loves to make cards for her mom and dad and her opa when they have special occasions and stuff. I'll tell you a funny story too. My husband is a real softie at heart.
He is.
He's kind of a tough guy, but he's also a softie at heart, and he cries so easily when his family does things. And yesterday was his birthday, and Lainey and London, both my grandson, her older brother, made cards at home and said sweet things in it and couldn't wait to watch him read it so he'd cry. That's like a family thing.
Is that right there?
Mm-hmm. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to place one dimensional on the right side here.
Right here?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and take that off, the backing off. Put a little bit of glue right there on the left side. And then you're going to put it down on top of your stitched nested label, right about where you want your sentiment to be. I would say let's go a little bit off and do it a little cockeyed like that, I think. Yeah, and just press it in place. Then you're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. You see we practiced a little bit on it.
Which side?
That's the good side. So
Okay.
put dimensionals on the back, and then you're just going to pop that up onto here. And put it right in the center like that. All right, so the very last thing we're going to do is to put it on our card base. So Lainey, if you'll look at it and you see there is one part that has an indentation and there another side that has a ridge. I always fold it where the valley is on the outside. So, and the mountain's on the inside. You close it up to where the dent is on the outside, and let's put this over here. And then the mountain's on the inside. There you go. I'll just do it one more time. And also, if for some reason you don't have a bone folder handy, you can grab a block, and that you can use that as well. And it does a really great job. All right, so then just put your glue on the back of it. All right, and we'll just go ahead and put that. And that same principle applies, that if you will watch your opposing corners, and if you have the same amount of space on your opposing corners, then it will fit perfectly everywhere. And there you go. There's our card for today. Isn't that a lovely card? And it'll make a great Father's Day card for somebody, whether they golf or not. I think it's a great sentiment that says, "You're the greatest guy by par." So on behalf of Lainey and I, thank you so much for joining us. We're really glad that you spent this time with us. If you have not already subscribed to my channel and you would like to see more, just click subscribe and ring the bell and you'll get more videos as they come up. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like a catalog, please let me know. Go to my website and hit contact me, or if you look at across the top of the screen, it'll have my website at www.mypaperconnection.com. Just let me know and I'll get a catalog out to you. Thanks so much and have a great day.